sky out?
A little bit. We're going to see it on the terrace.
Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. We are Angie and
Andrew.
and we're both architects. Well, I graduated last year from the Aarhus School of Architecture in Denmark, but I'm originally from Berlin.
And I'm an architect from the UK. I graduated about 10 years ago. And we both ended up here in Freeland volunteering on Nikolai and Lila's house, which is a ecological sustainable project. And we're just going to give you a little tour and talk about how we ended up here.
Yeah, let's do that. We're both very new at this, so we'll please excuse. Okay, so and this is the reason why we came here for. Yeah, just have one 360 degrees round tour. So this is Freeland, which is just to sum up like an eco village based on some principles, something like debt-free community and
you can't borrow money to build houses here.
So they you can just buy them for a quite affordable price. And this
you
is
get
what
like a generic kind of rough plot size of land, which you'll get an idea from when we see our project.
Exactly.
Or you can have a plot as well. You can share a plot with somebody else, or you could even share it with 3 people maybe, if you were looking to develop a tiny house.
But the idea is that you definitely build and move here after a year. And that when you build a house, that it is according to like the sustainable values, so sustainable construction methods, techniques, and materials. And should we just say you wanted to show the lake?
Yeah, I want to show you. Like they really got one of the best plots on Freeland.
That's true.
I think with the lake, the little boat, and
you see the little shelter there in the.
Oh, there's someone
end.
inside.
I think. Yeah, it's beautiful. So the Higger Shelter, can we actually zoom in? Oh, we can. So this is the Higger Shelter. This is one of the spots where volunteers can sleep in, and it's really cozy. But how?
You're staying in, like, you can camp here, or you can stay in this little cabin. What is it?
This is
a caravan?
Exactly. This is Andrew's caravan. I'm somewhere there in this orange tent. Hear about this.
So I read about the project on the Natural Building page on Facebook, and kind of about 3 months ago, and I ended up messaging with the family and kind of trying to gain the courage to. I ended up driving here in my car to get to the site, and I'm planned to be here for about a month working on different aspects of the building. Last week we just before Angie came, we just finished the roof, so we actually some of the elements were lifted up by a crane, but then we were like physically lifting some of them, but it was just such an achievement to like actually get it finished.
And they actually had a big party apparently last Friday, which I missed.
On Friday, yeah.
See?
They're currently living in like 2 what are they, wagons? So they've converted it into like a
Danish like pavilion, and it's quite a genius concept, because the rule is that on Freeland you move to Freeland after a year later. So what they've done was just like getting 2 pavillionas, which is these kind of wagons that you see on any kind of construction site and so on. And then they connected them and built a part, like a connection part, which is like the living room at the moment, like almost double height space or just really tall space. Beautiful. And the idea is that they can live here, and now this is like kind of their project on the side, so they can just take the time, because they moved here after a year, and do everything in the most perfect way that they wish for, and really build their dream house. So this is the nice garden, and this is Lila with the rabbits. This is the beautiful terrace and the kind of connecting space that is a bit taller, made out of the windows. They're all different, because they're like I think it's understood from companies that had like some kind of, how do you say that, like they made them in the wrong way, or like
yard.
Exactly. So they've just got them for very cheap.
And the geodome was built like as a student project.
And it's quite genius, actually.
Yeah.
Quite a nice structure. Really simple. if we want to go inside something. This is the space.
Yes.
So yeah, they had like
It's got these like simple like construction elements where you can't really see it because of the light.
yeah. It's like quite genius because you just basically get these kind of metal pipes that you can cut and always the same size, obviously, like same length, and then the metal strings and to attach the wood to that pipe, and they basically build it in rings. And as you can see, they use as a foundation these, you call them breeze blocks, right?
Yeah.
And then because you know the wood cannot be directly on the soil because it shouldn't be moist and so on, so they lift it with that, and then they just build it in rings basically. So they didn't build the triangles; they actually built the ring after ring. And then in the end they said it just falls into place. It just happens. But anyways, so you see as architects you find so much on this eco-village. It's crazy. But this is the house. And this is the entrance.
We're going in the main entrance now here.
Yeah, should we maybe talk about how this all happened? Because I think the process is quite interesting.
They just talked to us last night about the process, but we can show you the program of the building. This is the kitchen, so it's pretty huge. Also, this is like floor level as you come in, so we're actually lower because of the build-up of the floor.
Yeah, we will talk about the construction in a minute, I guess. But yeah, as you can see, it's this kind of curved shape. So each curve is kind of, how do you say, initiating a room or standing for a room. So this is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is the dining, and this is the living. I guess, something like that.
Yeah.
And over there are the bedrooms, and this is a like kind of like a cold
like
storage.
a cold store, yeah. And above is like a mezzanine level. This is a terrace, and then there's more bedrooms and.
Actually, one more bedroom is a pretty cute story because, you know, when you build your own house and then you have 4 kids and one is like, hey, I want to have the bedroom upstairs with the terrace, direct access. And she said, okay. So,
did he say that?
Yeah, he said that. And she's like, well, okay, then we have to do it. Yeah, it's so nice. And of course, the masterpiece in the center, which is just like incredible and unbelievable at the same time. And somewhat
it's sourced from like someone's land in Denmark, and it took them months and months to acquire, but they eventually kind of were allowed to go through this forest. And you can see someone like taking pics, like Instagram pics for.
Who's that?
Quite often you get people come like just to photograph the structure.
Yeah. But the process basically. I think it was a pretty interesting process. Like as you see, because we're coming from this architectural point of view, we know how it is, how you work, and so on. And as we actually do, it was very similar, right? Surprisingly similar, like how we learned to at least study architecture and do it when we were in university. So it's kind of this kind. You just gather all the inspiration.
Yeah. They have like a big Pinterest, like journal, right?
Yeah, in a way.
With like hundreds of, if not thousands of images of inspiration, and this is the kind of distillation of all those different ideas.
And then they printed them all and sorted them in a book, and 2 books actually. It's really funny. And so after that, I think you see the first sketches, which is like the form of the building, like the shape. They wanted to have some kind of a greenhouse together with this kind of organic structure. But the main inspiration came from Ghana.
Yeah, they visited Ghana. I think they were on like a fair trade holiday, and they visited where they have these different like pots, and then these kind of spaces in between the pots. So you can see it's kind of ended up with like maybe 8 different volumes that kind of come together around this center of the tree.
Because they wanted actually these rooms or spaces to speak the language of the building, or kind of to determine. Right, so it should be visible from the outside, or like determined by the inside, basically. But still, at the same time, even though they kind of designed it from the inside, they also took account the outside so much. So, as they told, it was like they took a year to study everything about this piece of land. So, they marked where the sun is going up, which is over there, and it goes all the way over there in the south, and ends in the west. And this is why they have this terrace with a view to the sunset.
Yeah.
which we kind of missed, but we will show you in a second the
Yeah.
view.
And one of the most profound things for us is that as architects and designers, they don't actually have any documentation or drawings or a 3D model, and it's just the fact that they have like a physical clay model, and they've built this incredible structure just from like common sense or like just going as they go.
It's really funny, yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess we kind of tend to, of course, like first we have these inspirations and we kind of know this is the shape, but then we immediately switch to the floor plans, which they did as well. But then we would kind of be like, okay, geometry. There's these certain underlying rules, and we would draw circles, like real circles, kind of because, of course, for a construction guy or woman, you just have to tell, look, this is how you construct. And simple geometry just is, everyone knows what a circle is, and with a diameter you can just, build it quickly. But they were like, no, when they actually did try a model with real circles, but they just felt like this is not organic, this is not a nice space to be in. They just wanted to kind of make their own curves. So this whole building is this kind of, okay, we just do as we go. And how we feel.
And another interesting point as an architect, or rules that we're kind of taught to follow, is that the kind of base points of the plan are like only 6 points on the site are actually mapped out by a surveyor. And like all the rest were kind of mapped out just like intuitively by kind of almost guessing, or like
they did like a sketch and the clay model, because she is actually a ceramic artist, and then they drew a grid of 1 meter and on a plan with the curves, and then they literally had that plan with the grid and just walked and put like sticks in the ground.
These sticks are dividing all the spaces.
These little sticks, exactly.
So now we're in the bathroom.
So so as you can see there right now, just suggesting where wall is going. This is the bathroom. Yes, right, you're in the bathroom.
And another super inspiring thing about the project is that they were told by many engineers and professionals that they can't achieve what they want to achieve, and they've never taken no for an answer, which is super bold and inspiring.
Yeah, I think because, I mean, if we want to talk about this tree, it is, I mean, it's such a magnificent and like out of the world idea, but at the same time I think almost so obvious, because we just, I mean, this is like a natural construction ready there. So why not using it, It's like a natural column, but we're just so fixed in these kind of ready-made timber pieces that you buy in the Bauhaus market, and we don't trust in nature that much anymore. So should we actually shift to the construction? I think.
Sure, you can see here that they bought, and their original plan was to insulate with just straw bales. So a lot of these panels are divided to house this kind of dimension. But these panels, they're made from OSB, and on the surface it kind of doesn't look sustainable, but it actually is reusing materials, because it's using wood chips that would otherwise be trash or gone to landfill or whatever. And then it has like 2 timber elements either side, and then it's insulated with wood fibers in the center. And there's maybe, how many are there here? We've been building them this week, but previous to the time we arrived, they built maybe 100 by themselves.
This is crazy. And due to construction reasons, I mean, and safety reasons, they used glue laminated timber for the roof construction, which is also quite sustainable. I mean, you can just glue pieces together, obviously not themselves, but a company does that, and
they're twice as heavy.
And twice as heavy, that's true. But it's just because the roof structure is so complex, so you have to imagine that each on one of these kind of organic spaces or curved spaces has also a different height.
And they want to hold a 15 millimeters of soil for a green roof, which is like having an Olympic swimming pool on the roof. So it really needs to support a lot of weight, and in the winter, and it's absorbing all the water. So
but the engineer actually calculated that this kind of central column, which the tree is representing at the moment, supposed to have a diameter of like 40 by 40, but this tree is obviously much more gigantic, so it definitely can take it. but it took about a month to put the, how do you call it, cut the skin off.
Yeah, they said it was
Scrape
also difficult to kind of cut the base at a perfect, because you can imagine, because it's an organic product, and like they're trying to cut it at a straight, perfectly horizontal line. So you can see how they've got all those wedges underneath. It's always like a bit kind of scary.
Yeah.
That it might.
Yeah.
But also, it's going to lose 15% of its volume just in moisture, because it hadn't had time to dry out, and you can see it's got these like striations like coming around like as it's starting to dry.
Yeah. I think that's something to take from this as a kind of learning outcome.
Yeah,
Dry
to
your
allow
wood.
it to wood. In all cases, yeah.
Dry your wood in every... Please do. But I think it's gonna be fine. But it's just something you have to understand your material. Like when you work with these living materials, they take their time, and you have to just understand how they originate. Yeah. So the foundation, maybe that is something we should also come to. They dug out a hole, which is basically the outline of this whole building. They dug it out, I think with a firm though. They dug out all the soil, and due to many reasons. So you have to imagine 40 centimeters below this ground starts the groundwater. Exactly, because there's a little lake. It just gets wet really quickly, because originally they wanted to use a complete mussel foundation, which was also blowing my mind. Blue mussel foundation.
The majority of projects on Freeland, like some of them just have foundations made of crust mussel shells, and that is just so incredible. I never.
It's
thought
really
it was
pretty,
an option.
actually. Yeah, it's really pretty. But the issue was here the groundwater level that starts quite early, so all the mussel would get wet and so on, and moisture, and carry that moisture up.
Yeah.
So they had to a bit make a compromise in that sense and say we use like a strip concrete foundation, and on top they use the breeze blocks. And as Andrew said before, we are right now below floor level, like final floor level.
It's where I'm standing, or it's here.
Exactly.
This level.
This is where it's going to start. And what they're going to do is basically put sand now, fill it with sand to like even it out, and then a layer of styrofoam. How to say
styrofoam, or they call it flamingo in Denmark, and then like natural clay.
Exactly. So styrofoam level, which doesn't sound sustainable, and it isn't. But the good thing about it is, if you then cover it with clay, it can actually breathe, so it doesn't get like so moldy, and you can reuse it in case somewhere in the future you.
And it's insulative, which is.
It's super insulative, exactly. And then they covered that with clay, and eventually with more wooden pieces.
Yeah, they're gonna have like isolated timber floor and some elements.
Exactly. So that is the foundation.
And because of the roof and the complexity of the roof and the soil, they did plan to insulate the entire roof with straw bales, but they can't figure out a way to get it in and then apply the soffit. So they're looking to get some kind of blasted paper insulation into the roof. You can see Nikolai's just been laying the damp-proof membrane on the roof this week. He did that in 1 day or like 2 days, which is incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. Yeah, a lot of, what is it? Blood, sweat and tears going into this.
Let's go and see the sunset.
Yeah, we should see the sunset, which is actually gone. But now that maybe you might also, actually that was one of my first thoughts. Okay, you have such an organic shape, so you literally don't have one straight wall. But I think we are looking right now at the only straight walls. No, it's this one, this one.
This is a corridor. I think here, this is like the door to the bathroom.
It's like a circulation space. So you enter from there and you go in here. So this is going to be a bit more darker part of the whole house. But this is where the doors to all the several like bedrooms go into. Which is quite nice because it's a bit separate from the whole living, kind of dining and eating area. And a bit more this private, intimate space to then...
Yeah, this is the
go
master
into
bedroom, bathroom.
I should come up there.
Then utility space.
Wait, help me.
Yeah. Like bathroom, utility space, and then there's like a cold store because it's on the north side of the building.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I don't know, it's so funny to actually have not a straight wall because, oh, thank you. Because I was just like thinking, okay, how do you? I mean, with your furniture, just like practical reasons, right? But I mean, obviously they are ceramic artists and in both industrial designers, so they're gonna all like do, how do you say that? Handmade,
all the walls are
customized,
handmade, and like they're gonna make the cob walls as they go.
and the furniture and everything is
yeah.
like customized, basically. Yeah.
We can show them the kind of stair. There's like a slide that goes down here. Like the stair kind of comes up.
Ah, this is the
here
foundation
to
for the
mezzanine
staircase.
level, and there's a slide for the children, and then it's like a big.
They're gonna have a slide.
Yeah, and there's a slide here, and this is a rocket stove which kind of heats the whole house, and so you can sit on this big kind of cob, organic structure, and it's all heated from underneath.
That's really cool. And yeah, there's so many interesting ways. Yeah, so there's this kind of like OSB, timber, wood fiber columns.
Yeah.
And those, then in between you have the straw bales, and sometimes you have a window. This is why there's like this timber column.
Oh yeah, there's 45 windows or 43 windows.
And they're all different.
Yeah, every single one is no two are the same.
Oh my god. No two are the same. Which is super cool as well, because yesterday when we looked through those books and their inspiration, you can actually, because obviously also the windows don't have straight lines, but theoretically you can put in a generic window, but then cover it in cob and clay paint.
Yes.
And by that, you know, so you have a, let's say, rectangular window there, but then you just cover it in these kind of organic, like you literally just plaster it with hands by
like
yourself
around the edge to
and make like a nice curvy outline. And this is how you can make your own organic shaped window. Quite easily, actually, yeah. But yeah, they couldn't get round glass, or it's too expensive, so they gonna split it into windows or glasses, at least. So this is by now the darkest space, but it is also facing north, because it's a cold storage. Yeah, the sunset, which we're missing. But this is what we've been waiting for, because we've built this.
Yeah,
beautiful
in the past couple of days. Yeah.
Piece in a couple of days. Of course, you prepared some of those columns.
I when I joined last week, it was kind of the space I was most excited about, and the fact we got to build it and like realize it, and we can actually experience it now. It's really cool.
Let's go up to the terrace.
So we've had to like waterproof it with about 20 different tarps. But yeah, this is like the north facing view. So underneath us is the cold store, like the natural cold store.
Exactly. And this is little beers. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, but like you can just imagine how the view is going to be. You've got like a view over Freeland, and once that tree's not there, that's basically where the sun sets every night.
And they're actually going to cut down the tree. It's an invasive species, so that is fine. Maybe we're just going to give one more look into the space from up here.
Yeah, so this will be the kitchen. Underneath, you can see like to where the concrete element on the floor is where on the left there's a mezzanine level, but on the right it's like a huge double height spaces.
So I think they're actually going to put a window in here so you can see. Yeah. And when Lila's cooking some food, and then Nikolai's down there, and the kids are up here, and like, come down, dinner's ready. And
dining room, like so, sun's rising here in the living space.
I think it's incredible. They literally just observed how the whole sun circulation, where it's called north.
Yeah, like using a clay model.
It's crazy.
Like a physical model.
Yeah.
View onto the lake.
Yeah, and I think
people visiting. Yeah. Is that it?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks.
Come here, volunteer.
Yeah. Come and volunteer.
It will take some years to finish, so you have enough time.
So they're currently planning for like 5 years schedule, but it could be like 2 years, it could be 3 years, but
I think the most important, he will actually make a Facebook group and a newsletter, so it's definitely worth coming here. They're super lovely people. The house is incredible. We learned so much, and
in a week or 2 weeks,
exactly. And I think it really makes us think about how to do architecture and
completely differently,
construction methods to use. So it seems so easy somehow.
Yeah.
It's like I feel,
Yeah.
and so natural. So I think you can learn a lot from Freeland.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Thank you.